What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel that brings both new and old trailers to life. And in today's video, I'm going to do a much longer form content to kind of go through some of the options here. And behind me here, if you guys have been keeping up with our shorts, I took this thing to go get weighed with Curtis. We've done some mid-game process inside of this thing where part of the stuff was actually finished and some of it wasn't. So I thought I'd take the time to actually kind of do this in more long form content, so I'm not having to talk so fast to get some information to you guys. And kind of showcase to you how they had this trailer exactly built with what exact options that work for them. And who knows, maybe some of these options you can piggyback off of and create your own variation of a TPD with different stuff that you pulled from a trailer like this. So stay tuned. Let me show you some of the stuff that we've had, and I'm going to start here with the very front of the trailer, and we'll work our way around inside and exterior. Stay tuned. Let's come up here to the very front of the trailer. Obviously, you saw me sitting here. There's nothing that's outstanding here, but just some kind of preferential items that Calistoga ended up going with. Number one, this has been really popular the past couple years. I'm not entirely sure why, other than the fact to kind of keep the tire out of the way of technically your headspace. Usually we put this in the upper rear right, where technically you're not going to have any issue with it. But this is becoming more popular, so we actually welded the spare tire bracket to the actual tongue itself. Obviously mounted the tire to that bracket, and then we throw a tarp kit cover over this thing so that Mother Nature is not just eating the rubber of this brand new tire just sitting here. I believe this is a 4-foot tongue, if I'm not mistaken. They went with the diamond plate box, and again, this is kind of to minimize how much stuff is actually going inside of the trailer itself, where your feet can interact or your head could hit. Obviously, the benefit to this diamond plate box is they can have their 12-volt battery in here. They can go ahead and get their, if I can pull it out here, their 30-amp shore power cord in here, and then the jack obviously has a sand foot. So for you guys that work county, military, or state, federal, you name it, right? Obviously, you guys know the importance of having your parts on the trailer itself. So obviously, a sand foot is something you can disconnect quickly and then probably just toss it in the bed of the truck. Then therefore, the person that then has to pick it up no longer has a sand foot because it's with the other truck. So a lot of times, these boxes are really helpful. You get the sand foot, you just stick it right in here. It's not going to damage anything. And the guy that goes to use it next is then going to have a good time and actually have everything he needs. Next you have here is, again, a diamond plate. If you've known TPD for any time at all, you've seen this very common. And we call this an ATP stone guard. All this is to basically protect any rocks coming off of the bed of your truck or the tire. 55 plus miles an hour, it going in, hitting directly low on the actual panel itself. Not that the panel can't help it, but why not make the panel look good still, and just get something like a small piece of aluminum that can take the hit and you can replace it at any time without replacing the panel. And then lastly, you got over here just obviously your shore power connector here. This is where you have some power to your shop or your generator. You can plug it into this thing directly and it'll power the entire outlet and charging system built inside the trailer. Let's go to the other spots of the trailer. We'll start with the two different sides and then work our way inside the trailers. All right, we are now here on passenger side, curb side, whatever you want to call it here. We've got a couple of different options here. Obviously, you've got your 110 plug shore adapter here for any type of extension cords you guys need. Waterproof housing, obviously don't want water getting involved in it. This is a special ops trailer. This is meant for military, state, police, federal bases. It comes with a little bit more standardized options in case. Number one being an electronic keypad for guys that have 50 plus people working on a trailer. The one thing that becomes an issue is multiple sets of keys. People then therefore losing multiple sets. So obviously an electronic keypad run on a battery is a pretty good option to allow multi-function of people to come in. So that's an automatic upgrade for the special ops. You have the fold out step here that comes standard, as well as this lighted grab handle. Everything else you see here is it's an additional cost, meaning you have the exterior outlet, the awning here, and then you have obviously the scene lighting, which this has been one of my more favorite items that we've managed to find as of recently, because we've been around for so long. We've seen all the different iterations of lighting, and I think these things are great. I don't know if they're the nicest looking thing on the market, but they do match the trailer. They are surface mounted and they are 12 volts, so meaning as long as you have battery power, you are able to power. And the nice thing to me is it doesn't let off that old school yellow haze. This is a nice white bright light that sits in here. It's all LED, so it doesn't draw obviously nearly as much. And then obviously, I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of dim from here, but it's just kind of a nice looking option, and I think it really makes the trailer look really classy and obviously very professional. And yeah, I think that's everything here. Let's go to the driver's side or street side. I'll show you the options on that, which aren't much, and then we'll work our way from the back end. All right, we're getting closer and closer to the end of this thing. Obviously, there's not much to show on this side, obviously, as this is kind of the dead side of the trailer. But obviously, this is where we ourselves actually house a lot of our generator compartments, storage racks. I mean, you kind of name it, for anything external that needs to sit here and breathe. For all you California boys, this is one thing I miss, but I actually really like the way Yamaha's branding has become, to me, a lot better in the generator game. I've used them a lot for ATVs. But Honda is out of the game here in California, so you can't get the old Honda EUs. So we found that the Yamahas have been a really good displacement there in the difference with Honda no longer wanting to partake in California. I don't blame them. But actually, to be honest with you, these things have become very, very quiet, which is obviously one thing that everyone always went with a Honda for. So super proud of Yamaha to come out with something. So this is a little bit more of a unique system, a lot different than the Honda. So they have the higher up grab handles, which are fine, obviously help give you more leverage to obviously lift. But one of the things that we run into with a lot of the generators here is they all have these caster-like wheels. Yes, you can remove them. Yes, you can do all this stuff. But to me, it kind of makes the generator less functional in that capacity. So what we ended up doing is actually creating a plate to actually lift it up off the actual racking itself, giving it enough space to go in and out of the trailer itself without having to remove the wheels. So obviously if they ever want to maintenance it or whatever, the guys don't have to have two people to stay the entirety. They can get two guys, lift it, drop it to the ground, and then one guy can push the thing around with a caster wheel. So obviously this will run anything basically 3,000 watts will run typically one air conditioner, your set of lights, and obviously a couple of outlets of varying dependencies. You know, like coffee pot might be an issue running it with an air conditioner. And this is good solid base if you guys are uncertain of kind of what kind of wattage you guys are looking for. And the best thing that most people say about obviously doing a transportable and a slide rack, obviously it's super easy for maintenance. But then at the end of the day, if you guys are tired, you guys have done your shift, say you guys are doing, you know, a traffic stop with a set of people, you want to come in. It's a simple set. You basically roll the thing in, that thing's set, you lock it, make sure everything's tightened, close the door, lock the door, and now as long as everything else is done, you guys can pick up the trailer and actually just move it and go. And you know, obviously onboard is a much nicer setup, but you're also talking about 3 to 4 times as much it costs. So for me, this is good bang for your buck, still get you power, still get you a little bit of functionality that you guys need without breaking the bank. So let's go on to the rear of the trailer and we'll do this for the fit and finish finale. All right, guys, we are here at the rear of the trailer. I'm just going to mainly focus right here just on the ramp door section in case that everything else here wasn't here, just to kind of explain in some capacity. I get a lot of inquiries and questions on why we use these type of springs, why we don't use rollovers. And to me, in all honesty, this is a really easy option. There's no point in overcomplicating a situation. These are old school garage door springs that you can find at like your local hardware store. If any one of them ever breaks, which is very few and far in between in the trailer's entire lifespan, you can just go to your local hardware store and I guarantee you they have something relatively close that'll work. Versus if you have the big upwinds, yeah, they kind of give you a little bit more, I guess, interior dimension. But again, if those things break, you have to find a specialized spring, you have to get a garage door guy out or something of that variance. And again, I'm not here to complicate a ramp door. Ramp door just needs to be supported as it goes down so it doesn't mousetrap you. And for those of you guys that don't actually know, if you can't see it here, we actually have a 3-degree pitch here. So that way, basically, if, you know, let's just say some young teenager goes to close the door and is not paying attention. With the offset in, what that does is just like I mentioned before, you don't want to cause a mousetrap, right? So obviously things come in. If this thing was straight up, it has a tendency to want to come back down, obviously on it. And the unsuspecting person that turns around to go walk to go grab something before putting a Hasman keeper on, sorry, you might be looking like Mike Tyson just had his way with you and knocked you out on your toes. But again, this is one of the many options and setups very common for us in a mobile office trailer like this or a mobile command. You will actually have no beaver tail, which is what we call it here. Beaver tail is just a slight slope out the rear. So for your car guys, that's a huge benefit. So you're not getting basically a real sharp edge on a low profile car to catch the median. The round over edge obviously helps. When you go to a mobile command or an office-based trailer, they're not rolling in low vehicles. So there's absolutely no necessary need to have a beaver tail. Let's just keep the floor flat. And then again, going back onto the lighting here in general, these are the load lights, however you want to call them, rear ramp lights. Obviously, if you're doing a night op, you need a little bit of additional lighting without having your cars shooting lights forward. It's just a nice option, just a little click of a button and you got a little bit of additional bright light. Again, surface mounted, loving the surface mounted 12-volt options. And let me go a little bit deeper here. I'll kind of explain everything else here inside the trailer. Oh, sorry guys. Taking a nap. Anyway, we're inside the trailer here. Obviously, this is a mobile-based commands type style of trailer. There's going to be, I don't believe, any vehicle in here, if any at all. I believe this is just strictly for paperwork, walkie-talkies, some laptops and computers, and a ton of paperwork, obviously. So what we can do with any part of our trailer itself is obviously we can get cabinetry in any length, any height of the trailer itself. So if they wanted to run this thing from one end all the way to the very end, we could technically do it. They decided to stop where they did here, and these are just nice little compression latches. I'm sure you could hear how much pressure's there. It's a nice quick lock system that goes in there. Obviously you can put, you know, paper, coffee, whatever you want to do there. Obviously every bit of this workstation has outlets. Obviously, as you saw on the one side, we have some that are internal and external as well. So this is good for radios, walkie-talkies, laptops. Over here in the very front, I don't know if you had seen this before. Obviously this is the amount of spread of light that the natural 12 volt lighting above has. These have been relatively new for us in the last couple of years. I love the crisp white. I think they put a almost like surgery level kind of vibe to the white interior of the trailer itself. And obviously if you're working on a workstation here, obviously it couldn't hurt to have any additional lighting. So we did little 6-inch versions of them here as well to help spread directly over where you're gonna be doing paperwork or typing. And you got a couple of different options here. We have a pretty much on standard on every trailer, we now have a 100-watt solar panel and regulator to kind of help offset the actual battery itself from dying. Obviously trailers aren't moved all the time, they're not always looked at. So we figured, what the hell, we might as well start throwing in at least a decent sized solar panel to start charging the battery itself. Obviously if the trailer's outside, they have their breaker panel here, obviously for the 30 amp shore connector and power plug over there. They can obviously hook it in. It'll then disperse power to every one of the outlets that you see in here. And then obviously, last but not least, I'm not sure if it's obvious to you guys, but this is one of my more favorite options that we do, and it looks cool being in the same material as obviously everything else. It looks real form, fit, and finish, kind of a stormtrooper vibe is what I like to call it. And it's just a pedestal table. It's very simple. We took some of our 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch flooring material here that we use. Obviously made a tabletop out of it. So, I mean, it's strong. It's a little wobbly from the legs, but you can tighten those knuckles down a little bit more just to make it a little bit more fit and finish. And this is good. So let's just say these guys have a bunch of cones here. They obviously can't have this pedestal table here. They could take the lid off, put an air off the side. We have E-track and a pull strap here as well to tighten it down. Have it sit up here. It stores up and takes up, you know, maybe what, an inch worth of material. The two legs come off, and directly underneath the trailer here, underneath the table, we have another set of these drop legs that you can lock it in and then tighten it together, making it look real nice, professional, and set up. So obviously if they need this, great. Everyone take this thing off, put it down, strap it down. If not, put it away and you guys don't even need it. It's just kind of a nice option to have, or a lot of people will do in these type of trailers, is a fold-out tabletop as well. But again, I'm not a super big fan of those because I feel like the clasps that go up are a little bit wonky sometimes. But pedestal tables are a nice way to get something form and function depending on the option and day that's needed. So that's about it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed a little bit more long form content on this exact custom build that Calistoga PD ended up doing. I love the way our trailers look. I think the cleanliness of these things is nice. Obviously I get people that ask about colors all the time. Interior, exterior, I just say white all the way. And if you want to change some of the exterior color, like Calistoga, they'll probably get this thing wrapped in their colors of their department, which is always a good, nice thing, and kind of vinyl wrap it, keep the actual exterior of the panel protected. But that would be the option I would go with. But to me, this almost looks like a surgery room in that regard. And when you're working a mobile command trailer, that's probably what you need. So anyway, stay tuned for more long form content like this. As I start something brand new, I'd like to show you a fit and finished product of it, go over the options built into the trailer itself, and who knows, maybe you guys like something like an option like a pedestal table, because everything we've done for 40+ years has been one guy likes one option from some other guy's trailer that we did. We then built a custom size for him, put that option in it, and morphed it, and we've kind of built this library and this plethora of items that were non-existent before, now existent because someone else liked it, helped us come up with an option that will work. And now we can basically custom tailor any trailer to you, obviously as long as it's within our wheelhouse. So if you like stuff like this, stay tuned, hit the subscribe, like, share, everything above, and stay tuned on the next project as we take you through the runs of what we run into here at a manufacturing shop. So we'll talk to you guys later.